Join me as I dive into the top 8 unexplained mystery-solving cases and see if I can crack the code on these mind-bending puzzles. There's something about unsolved mysteries that tugs at the edges of our imagination, beckoning us to peer into the shadows where the truth lurks just out of reach. Perhaps it's the thrill of the unknown, the eerie sensation that some secrets refuse to stay buried, or the chilling realization that sometimes, reality is stranger than fiction. These stories grip us, pulling us into a labyrinth of unanswered questions, half-truths, and unsettling possibilities. They haunt us, keeping us awake at night as we replay the events, trying to make sense of the impossible. One of the biggest challenges when investigating these cases is the ever-present fog of uncertainty. Clues are scarce, testimonies contradict one another, and theories twist and turn like a snake in the dark. Investigators find themselves trapped in a maze where every path leads to a dead end. The evidence, what little there is, often leads in conflicting directions, making it nearly impossible to assemble a coherent timeline. And yet, these cases refuse to be forgotten. They whisper through the decades, daring anyone brave enough to unearth their hidden truths. Sometimes, the beginning of a case seems simple, routine, even. A missing person, a suspicious death, an unexplained anomaly. But as the layers are peeled back, the picture becomes more grotesque and more perplexing. What initially appears to be an ordinary crime morphs into a nightmarish enigma, riddled with deception, conspiracy, and the inexplicable. Like a puzzle with missing pieces, the final image remains forever incomplete, leaving behind only speculation and a lingering sense of unease. The Mary Celeste, a ghost ship drifting in time. A ship discovered adrift in the vast Atlantic Ocean in 1872, its crew vanished without a trace. The vessel was perfectly intact, provisions untouched, the crew's belongings undisturbed, but not a single soul remained on board. No signs of struggle. No distress signals. Just an empty ship sailing on, as though it had been abandoned in an instant. Theories range from pirate attacks to supernatural interference, but to this day, no one knows what happened to the crew of the Mary Celeste. It remains one of the sea's greatest and most chilling mysteries. Was it a mutiny? A rogue wave that swept the crew overboard? Or something far more sinister, an unknown force lurking beneath the waves? The answers remain as elusive as the souls that once walked its deck. The Zodiac Killer, a monster in the shadows. This faceless predator taunted police with cryptic messages, challenging the world to decode his twisted mind. Some of his ciphers remain unsolved, a chilling reminder that he may have taken his secrets to the grave, or worse, that he still walks among us. The cryptic symbols and letters left behind suggest a meticulous, calculating mind, one that enjoyed the power of evasion and the thrill of watching fear spread like wildfire. Could the key to his identity still be hidden in his unsolved codes? Or was he simply a master manipulator, toying with the police and the public alike? Decades had passed, yet the legend of the Zodiac Killer persists. Who was he? A disgruntled loner? A brilliant but disturbed mind? Or was he more than one person, an entity with multiple faces hiding in plain sight? The Taman Shud case, a message from the beyond? In 1948, a man was found dead on Somerton Beach in Australia, his identity unknown, his past erased. In his pocket, a tiny scrap of paper bore the cryptic words, Taman Shud. These words, taken from an ancient Persian book of poetry, translate to ended or finished. Was he a spy? A jilted lover? A victim of a crime so perfectly executed that even his cause of death remains a mystery? Attempts to trace his origins have all led to dead ends, leaving us only with haunting questions. Nearby, an abandoned suitcase contained curious items, a coat with foreign stitching, a mysterious book with a hidden code. Was this a covert mission gone wrong? An unsolved espionage case buried under bureaucracy? We may never know. The Grimes sisters' murder, a tale of injustice. Two teenage girls, last seen heading to a movie theater in Chicago, vanished into thin air. Weeks later, their bodies were discovered frozen in a ditch. The official cause of death? Exposure. But inconsistencies in the case file suggest a far more sinister truth, one riddled with lies, misdirection, and a potential cover-up. Why was evidence mishandled? Why were key witnesses ignored? Was justice ever truly served? The case remains an open wound in the annals of Chicago crime history. Some say the girls were stalked, abducted, and silenced before they could ever tell their story. Others believe the killer was hiding in plain sight, shielded by corruption and fear. The Voynich Manuscript, a book of secrets. An ancient book filled with cryptic symbols, bizarre illustrations, and an unknown language, the manuscript has defied all attempts at translation. Linguists, codebreakers, and scholars have spent decades trying to crack its secrets, but the book remains as inscrutable as ever. Is it a forgotten alchemical text? A hoax? Or something even more unsettling, proof of knowledge beyond our understanding? Could it be an extraterrestrial artifact? A lost civilization's last message? Or the ravings of a mind that saw things beyond human comprehension? The Black Dahlia Murder, a nightmare on film. The brutalized body of Elizabeth Short was discovered in Los Angeles in 1947, cut in half and posed grotesquely. The sheer brutality of the crime shocked the nation, and despite a massive investigation, the killer was never caught. Rumors of police corruption, false confessions, and powerful figures covering up the truth have only deepened the mystery. Who was responsible for such a monstrous act, and why was justice never served? Some believe a surgeon, with an unhinged fascination for human anatomy, was behind the crime. Others point to Hollywood's dark underbelly, a secret world where dreams turn to nightmares. The truth remains hidden in the shadows of Tinseltown. The Dyatlov Pass Incident, a descent into madness. 9 experienced hikers ventured into the Ural Mountains in 1959, only for their frozen bodies to be found scattered in a horrifying state. Some had crushed skulls, others had missing tongues, and one was even found with radiation traces on their clothing. Their tent was ripped open from the inside, as if they had fled something unimaginable. Was it an avalanche? A secret Soviet experiment? A Yeti? Or did they witness something so horrifying that their only instinct was to run into the icy abyss? The disappearance of the Sodder children. On Christmas Eve, 1945, a house fire consumed the Sodder family home. 5 of their 10 children were never found, no bones, no remains, no sign of their existence. Mysterious phone calls, sightings, and cryptic letters would torment the family for years. Were they kidnapped? Did they survive? Or was something far darker at play? Sometimes, just when hope is lost, new evidence emerges, shifting the puzzle pieces into place. An overlooked clue, a fresh forensic breakthrough, a confession from an unexpected source, these can breathe new life into cold cases, reigniting the chase for truth. But in some cases, the truth remains forever out of reach, a specter lurking just beyond our grasp. So, which case unsettled you the most? Which mystery keeps you awake at night, your mind spinning in search of an explanation? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're hungry for more tales of the unexplained, be sure to check out my other videos, where we dive deeper into the world's strangest, most chilling enigmas.